especially in the NHL, to sort of lead the way in terms of showing that it's not just about allies, because a lot of the time messaging that we see seems to think that they're just talking to people who aren't part of the queer community and saying, let's be cool to these people without realizing that we're already here. I'm a queer woman who lives in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland in New Zealand. I do social media for the NZIHL team, Botany Swarm, and I've been a Columbus Blue Jackets fan for about 6 years now.
I'm so sorry about being a Blue Jackets fan. It's going to be tough.
We've had some highs as well as the recent lows.
That's true. How did you get into hockey?
Back when I finished university, I went on a big trip, visited a whole bunch of friends in the US, and my friends in Philadelphia actually took me to a game there. So I got to see the Philadelphia Phantoms, as they were at the time, win a couple of games en route to the Calder Cup back in 2005. So that got me interested, just because I was like, this is really cool, it's interesting, and it's super fun to watch.
They had a good group. They had some really talented young players too.
I think Jeff Carter's the only one that's still in the NHL from that group, but it was cool to see them as like babies, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you love about the sport?
I really love watching it. Like, just even when people aren't scoring goals, just the passing, the way that everyone sort of moves as one big unit, even though it's made up of a ton of people. Like the very first NHL game I went to, I got super obsessed just watching all the line changes. I was like, this is so cool. How do they know?
That's sweet. How could hockey be better for you as a queer person and also for the queer community as a whole?
I think there's so much further that they can go, especially in the NHL, to sort of lead the way in terms of showing that it's not just about allies, because a lot of the time messaging that we see seems to think that they're just talking to people who aren't part of the queer community and saying, let's be cool to these people without realizing that we're already here.
Yeah, I like that, because we do exist and we should be recognized and celebrated, which essentially is the whole point of this, right? But to your point, I mean, even this year at the start of Pride Month, first NHL tweet was how they're going to celebrate allies.
Yeah, I sent them a snacky response about that. I think it's the most likes and interaction I've ever had on a tweet. There's been really good support from everyone yelling at them about it, which is kind of funny, but also, this is an own goal. You didn't need to do this.
Yeah, so which ultimately, made me decide to do this in response, because we deserve to be celebrated.
Which I think is an awesome idea.
Yeah, it's fun, and I've had great people like Jay and others help out, and it's been wonderful. It's really been enthused me and reinvigorated me, to see so many incredible queer voices and faces like yours. What keeps you in the sport? Knowing what you know, what keeps you here?
Part of it is now it's just such a big part of my life. Like, the NHL hits the off season and our season down here in New Zealand starts. So I'm going to games all the time. Sometimes I travel with the team to go to away games. And like during the year when the NHL season is running over in North America, I'm at work, so I've got headphones in, I'm listening to games on the radio. If I'm at home, I'll be watching. So it's sort of like, it gives me this structure that I'm always interested in. And just like the narrative of it is what keeps me coming back. Because as well as being fun to watch, like you get all these little storylines every year, and I want to see what happens.
It's almost like its own soap opera.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
What gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
I'd say a lot of what I've seen down here, even because hockey is such a community, like wherever it is. And I've seen a lot of really good support from like my local community when I've like shared GoFundMe links for people that are looking for gender affirming surgery and all that sort of thing. I've had people who I know are like cis straight guys donate to it and help out. And like my team down here have been super awesome to me the entire time, which is also really cool. And just getting so much more visibility for queer people that I can see like on Twitter that I talk to. Like I've got a really great community online as well. And so we always like support each other, like share sort of stories, look out for each other. So even if it's not always coming from the top, there is still something there that gives me hope for the future.
I love that. That has been a common theme throughout, is the idea of community that people build, whether it's online or at games or elsewhere, you know, and it really matters, and it shows how much we are actually here. It might be, you know, not as visible, but we exist.
Exactly.
Claire, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, see, now every head is flown out of my brain. I just basically, I guess I want to say that everyone who's maybe seeing this and questioning or like not sure about their future as a hockey fan or as a player or involved in the sport in any way, like hang on, a lot of us have your back, and like let's keep moving this conversation forward.
I love that so much. And thank you for moving the conversation forward, and thank you for being yourself and working in the sport. It matters. Your visibility matters. And thank you.
Well, all good. Thank you.